What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. It's your boy Mello. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Growing up, I've always heard there's nothing like that R&B love. And you know, I'm starting to think they were right. There's recently been quite a few debates online regarding music, one being is R&B dead? I think when people talk R&B nowadays, they can't help but to compare it to the previous generations that's come before it. While it's important to show love and appreciate the icons and legends who've come before, we also have to show love and appreciate today's artists as they are now paving the way for the next to come. So starting with 90s R&B, I think what I love most about it is that it has no gender. I feel like a guy could put on TLC, you know, SWV, Escape, Aaliyah, Mary J. Blige, and no one would say anything. I think over time, society began to label music as far as what men and women can listen to. For example, take some of the hottest female R&B artists today. Summer Walker, Jasmine Sullivan, Ari Lennox, Jhené Aiko, SZA. If a guy was to put any of those R&B artists on right now, he would probably be looked at as, well, you know. And that sucks because music isn't meant to be that way. Another thing I really love about 90s R&B music is that it has a certain vibe to it. It's a very sexy vibe that keeps you guessing. Songs like Knockin' the Boot, Rock the Boat, Nobody, they always alluded to what they were talking about. You know, they never really just outright said it. If an artist was around in the 90s, it's probably safe to say they're in some way an icon. And you know, that's going to look different depending on who you're asking. But for example, take the song Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. Some of us may be unfamiliar with his other work, but because he has that song and because I feel like he came out in the 90s, that makes him a legend. Now, speaking of Tevin, another thing the 90s really excelled in was producing men who weren't afraid to profess their love to women. With male artists like Genuine, Keith Sweat, Usher, Anthony Hamilton, the 90s had a constant flow of love songs and about 1,000 of them to make love to. You know, they say that's how a lot of us got here. But even if they weren't a solo act, so groups such as 112, Boyz II Men, Jagged Edge, the 90s were in no shortage of great R&B artists. Now, just to give a little insight, I was born in 96 and I am still to this day discovering great music and great R&B artists. 90s R&B was an era and time unlike the world has ever seen and still lives on and gives inspiration even to today's music. Now, speaking of today's music, I want to ask you, do you think R&B is dead? I don't know about you, but I would be lying if I said I haven't played Summer Walker's album about 100,000 times. And I'm not even a baby mama. But in all seriousness, I don't think R&B music is dead. It has, however, shifted greatly from the 90s. As social media has greatly influenced many aspects of our life and the way that we live, it comes as no surprise that it's influenced today's music as well. I'd compare today's music to high school in a sense. You know, today's music can be very cliquish, like every artist has their own niche. Like for example, let's take Summer Walker, aka the fourth baby mama. Summer has reached an entire audience that I feel hasn't even been touched before. She poured her heart and her soul into her music, talking about her relationship experiences and being a baby mama. Because Summer was so honest and relatable, she won over a lot of people, you know, people like me who don't even have kids. Another example is Jhené Aiko. I would describe her as making music for like soft, shy, quiet girls, you know, who like to do 420, and they're probably always talking about a vibe, chakras, and moon signs. One thing I really appreciate about today's R&B music is that it's able to cover a wider range of topics, and I feel like everyone now is able to have a seat at the table. That was kind of smooth, huh? As the 90s were great at producing many great male R&B artists, I do feel like those numbers have dwindled since. I can only think of a few male R&B artists that draw my interest today. Daniel Caesar, Giveon, Jeremiah, Miguel. I think over time, just love R&B songs became less important and it's more about having a hit R&B song. While music does look different than what we've known it to be, I think that's the beauty in it. You know, change can be good, and we're in great company of R&B artists today. Now, I can't make a video talking about music without talking about some of my favorites, right? So as far as the 90s goes, hands down, it is Aaliyah, followed by the group SWV, and then Mary J. Blige. Now, as far as today's artist, even though he's made some rather interesting remarks, Daniel Caesar, his voice is amazing. He's hands down my favorite R&B artist around today. Followed by Summer Walker. Gosh, she's just amazing. She, like I said, she's won me over. 2 albums in, they're both just literally no skips. Both her albums, just no skips. And then followed by the amazing Ari Lennox. Ari just dropped an album, so if you all have a chance, you guys should definitely go check it out and support that Black woman in all of her excellence. Well, that's it for me today, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, as that's okay too, because there's always room for improvement over here. But whether you gave this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, go ahead and drop a comment down below on your thoughts of this video. Do you think R&B music is dead? And last but not least, if you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as I am on the journey to 100 subscribers. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I will catch you all on the next video.